Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Richard Lewis Show. We're continuing our daily broadcast today. I'm Richard Lewis. Joining me, as he always does, is my producer, Sam, lurking in the background, pushing buttons, and back probably from some low-key drug deal, I imagine.
Always, mate.
Always. Just
always
guessing.
Hustling, mate. Always hustling.
Yeah, always hustling.
Hard to make out here.
What you been up to, anyway?
Not much, mate. Did a bunch of boring, shit for us. Like I told you about, remember? Reaching out to sponsors stuff, trying to make it a real show, mate. Maybe one
Sounds
day.
like you're trying to justify your continued
Yeah. Earning my
employment.
50%, mate. Working hard, grafting.
Grafting. Well, I haven't really been up to much. Yesterday after the show, I worked on a few things, planned out a few videos for the weekend, getting ready for the Clash for Cash. Pretty boring, really. So I'll start by saying right at the top of the show, we're trying to be a bit more regimented and militant about the way that we do things in terms of trying to get growth, because we've finally just gone past that 90K, amount of subs on YouTube. And it felt like, we've been on 88, 89 for 10 years or something. Just insane, just ridiculous amount of time. So we want to just, we're trying to be disciplined about it. We hate all that bullshit what YouTubers do, put a comment in, like and subscribe, and I'll be back with another Minecraft video. Not really interested in that, mate, but obviously if you do support the show, go over to YouTube, check you haven't been unsubscribed, because YouTube are doing this thing. I know they pretend they're not. We've had it out with them on Twitter a bunch of times. They pretend that they're not doing this, but basically certain channels are marked to stall their growth. All the data supports this. And what happens is when that occurs, basically every time you put a video out, people start getting randomly unsubbed. I don't know what the criteria is for that to be happening, but that's definitely the case. So we're going to put out a bunch of videos this week. So we know, obviously, that when we put a video out, about 50 to 100 people get unsubscribed. Seems to be the numbers. So when that does happen, we want you to just be mindful about it and make sure that, it doesn't happen to you. So keep checking on it. Keep liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel. And, of course, make sure you follow us on Twitch as well. And thanks to the people who were subbing and probably injecting ridiculous things over here. I did notice one thing, Sam. Before the show, did we do the little audio sync up thing?
Yeah, I've just adjusted it now. It's better.
That's my boy. All right. So, right. Well, let's start at the fucking beginning. Let's start with some didn't happen nonsense that's been going on. I saw an absolute belting fucking AMA on Reddit.
Right.
I'm not kidding you. This AMA, in fact, you can just go straight to the AMA. I don't give a fuck about protecting a throwaway account's name, right? It's only existed for 22 hours or whatever it was. But this has to be the ultimate fucking insane fantasy stroke lie, right? This is an AMA where it says the person who made it says, I killed my stepdad when I was 8 years old. That was 30 years ago AMA. So you're like, okay, I suppose it could be one of those young kids accidentally shot somebody. It happens in America. You read about it all the time. So I'm like, okay. So I read the story, and it goes, it was a Memorial Day party. My stepdad wasn't a very nice person. He was abusive towards my mother, and he was beating her in front of the whole family. My family consisted of mainly girls at that point. Since my grandfather was already dead, and the only other boys were my uncle, who was only 13. Now already...
Pretty young uncle.
Yeah, pretty young. Again, definitely seen that happen.
Yeah, but just more and more bullshit into the story, mate.
Yeah, why even fold that in? Why not just make it normal? Right? My great uncle, who was using the bathroom when it happened, and my younger brother, who was only 5. So nobody was defending her. He doesn't say what from. I couldn't take it anymore. I walked away, and when I came back, I stabbed. I think it means that I stabbed him with a butcher's knife several times. He apparently tried to wrestle me, but I apparently stabbed him in the head. Right. So this is a grown man struggling to wrestle an 8-year-old boy to the floor because an 8-year-old boy has just stabbed him in the head. I mean, this is ridiculous. And then look, I have no memory of the event. And since it was defending my mom, I wasn't arrested or anything.
So
I'm pretty sure.
Didn't even take him to hospital. Didn't even give him a mental, breakdown. Maybe. Let's have a look into this kid's brain, shall we?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that even if you're 8 years old, if you stab an adult to death by putting a knife into their skull, someone's going to want to talk to you about that. Someone's going to want to have a conversation. I don't know. I wasn't arrested or anything. I have taken therapy, and no illnesses or disorders have been found on me.
Are you sure?
I suppose I was simply overprotective of my mom. Ask me anything. What mad fucking fantasy fulfillment is this? That you go on the fucking internet and lie about this. Like, it's absolutely... The good news is, obviously, people can see through this. I mean, most people can. There's some good comments on here. Like, do you get sexual pleasure from lying on the internet, or is it purely a mental thing? That's on my
mental.
That's on my throwaway account. Squid stole my face. And then, is this real or just a fantasy? It gets, but like some people did ask like genuine questions, like, does this make family gatherings a bit awkward for you? I mean, I would guess there would be no more family gatherings after that one. Now, if I held a family gathering and someone got stabbed to death at it by an 8-year-old, no less, I'm probably going to be, hey, you know what? Maybe this family shouldn't get together quite so much. Maybe we should just, chill, Christmas card once a year, perhaps. We'll just fucking relax here. So I saw that. I couldn't believe it. Fortunately, it got called out. I was hoping that was going to go straight to the front page. Then there was this one here. I mean, this is the thing. When people tell lies on the internet, it's like they don't think it through. They don't think it through how obvious it is that it's a lie. They think, well, I'll never get caught in this one. Like, this is just so fucking obvious, right? This is some guy posted this going like, saw this in my neighborhood. I like that commitment. Like, first of all, it's obviously you who did it. Second of all, just own that then and be like, haha, look what I did to somebody who did this thing. But they don't ever do that. They're always like, oh, I just noticed this in my street. It's mental, isn't it? Fucking hell, my life's crazy. I just live in the wild parts of the world. So this is supposedly a sign he just stumbled across. To the individual who stole the bike previously here, if you have a shred of decency, you will return it with a new lock and reevaluate your life choices. Then underneath, hey, bozo. I mean, is bozo
We're back
still a
to
thing?
1940s mafia New York. Hey, bozo, what are you, some sort of wise guy? Hey.
Yeah, she.
Get him,
you
boss.
bozo.
What are we going to do to him, boss?
Get the clamps. Right. So, hey, bozo, it's illegal to lock your bike to a handicap pole. How does he know the pole's handicapped? Oh, whatever. Check with the city for your bike. They probably removed it so it would not block a wheelchair-accessible van. Okay, so let's just have a look at this and how can we figure out that this is a lie? Okay, so I'm supposed to believe that a guy who had his bike stolen decided to go out, couldn't think of any way to track down his bike. He just couldn't think of any way, my bike's been stolen. Maybe I file a police report, right? Maybe that's...
Also, why would the person who stole the bike keep going back to the pole? Like, how do you know they're going to go there again? He probably just saw it. I'm never coming back here. Peace, my bike.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll return to the scene of the crime like a serial killer. Wanking over where I stole the bike for a cheap thrill. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love it when I steal bikes. He's come back to the scene, officer. Arrest him. It's like season 2 of The Shield. So... with the cuddler rapist, I think it was. Anyway, whatever. Watch The Shield. Great series. So to the individual stole the bike previously here, like why? Again, you're right. Why would you do this? Why would this be the one way you try and get your bike back? Okay, but then on top of that, right? I'm supposed to believe that you put this piece of paper. Let's be real about paper on a pole. Like, is that sellotape? That ain't staying there. A little bit of wind, that's fucked up. A little bit of rain, that's fucked up. It's not like a permanent solution, is it? And you just happened to stumble across when it was there and pristine before it's been got to by the elements. How fortunate for the person on the internet to have stumbled across this. Well done. Congratulations, my friend. But then on top of that, a person who walked past this flimsy paper sign, also seeing it before the elements got to it, also happened to have a black Sharpie and a white piece of A4 paper. And they wrote underneath, "Hey, bozo." Right? In what looks like suspiciously the lowercase version of the sign just above it. It's like you deliberately chose two types of handwriting that couldn't possibly sync up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm doing block capitals up here and some strange low cursive, all lowercase, practically kind of thing down here. It's just, this isn't how real life operates. This just isn't how real life operates at all. This is like somebody planned out wouldn't it be funny if, and they just went, and I'll put this on him and everyone will think I'm funny as fuck. My life's so interesting. Please talk to me. Please. Why do people do this shit? I just don't fucking get it, man. Where's the cheap thrill? Where's the tickle? Anyway. So there was this as well. I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention. You know, some people wake up and they start the day and they just want to be fucking outraged, Sam. They're looking for the outrage. They're begging for something to make them outraged. But sometimes an outrage opportunity doesn't present itself. You go on Twitter, everyone's normal. There's no stories in the news. Donald Trump hasn't tweeted for a couple of days. What are you going to do? How are you going to be outraged about a fictitious thing in your mind? Well, the good news is these people that exist like that, they just have a go-to. They can just pluck stuff out of the air. It's quite a talent, actually. So this was on Tumblr. This is like literally the maddest thing I've ever seen. A Tumblr account called Microaggressions, of course. Microaggressions.
Vintage mess, of course. Meh.
I mean, immediately straight there, you know, again, so probably the same guy who made the blog, I killed my hair. Microaggressions are real. Right? So just look at this. Just look at this, right? You know, sometimes when you go to the bank and they want a security question, and one of the go-to things is mother's maiden name.
Yeah, because it's one of the default ones.
Yeah, you'd have to be particularly committed to the fraud to find out somebody's mother's name and then their maiden name. So what they were before they got married. And it goes here. When a financial institution asks me my mother's maiden name as a security question because it's assumed I have at least one and no more than one mother in my life, and that she married and that she gave up her own name, and that the part of her identity was erased enough from my public history so as to be a password to access my private information. And then someone underneath, holy crap, I never read. Right.
Really makes you think.
Right? Is this, are we going to have a pushback on maiden names now? Is this, you can't use them? Like, fuck me. That's just a massive isn't it? It's just unacceptable. Anyway, so we got a big story to talk about today. I'm going to get into it, but I want to just hit you with a few things before we do. This is one of the most outrageous things I've ever seen. I can't even believe that somebody thought this was a good idea. I can't believe that this happened. I don't want to go all current year, all right? So I'm going to try and rein myself in. But this is just mental, mate. This story just fucking blew my mind. French TV. Now, I don't know if you've ever watched French TV. It's pretty bad. They all speak French.
Yeah,
it's hard to
horrible.
follow. Yeah, immediate Media
this
problem.
This is my idea of hell.
Right? So this is a guy called Cyril Hanuna. And Cyril Hanuna is a TV host. So for a goof, for a bit, he made an ad for himself on a gay dating website. Okay. And he put on this unbelievably camp voice when people were like calling through. Just literally, I don't even want to do it, mate. But just imagine a really high-pitched, camp, effeminate French man. Imagine you were watching Allo with your grandmother. I'm sure they had one of those fucking on there. Right? So what he did was, when people responded to his ad, which was, a photo of a shredded man looking, he would trick them into confessing their sexual fantasies. Now, already it's pretty bad.
Already unreasonable.
It's already pretty bad. But then what he did is he broadcast it on his TV show.
Just so you get nationally shamed.
Yeah, he faked being gay to get other gay guys to tell them what they like to do as gay men, and then just put it out there. Said, but look at this crazy gay.
Look at him loving knobs and that, mental in it.
It's so
That's
mad.
The showpiece.
Did no one over the course of him planning this sketch out go, yeah, this is a bit much actually, mate. I don't know if you know that as progressive as we are, there's still a stigma attached to being gay in some circles, and some people might just want their sex lives to be private. But no, nobody saw the problem with this at any stage in the planning process. His advert as well, by the way, his ad said, hang on, let me find the description. He said he was a bisexual man called Jean Jose, who was very sporty and well endowed and liked to be insulted. Okay. So
that's this guy got a secret to tell me. This isn't normal behaviour. I'm just gonna go and listen to all of the guys that want to fuck me for a goof. Yeah, we'll put it on TV. Yeah, we'll get them good. Yeah, leave the room, please, with this thought. No, don't take it.
He's trying a bit hard, actually, because I think he had another scandal on his show where some guy just randomly attacked a woman's breast and kissed it, just to get on his show. But imagine being a gay guy in the closet, right? And you just respond to this ad. And you're like, well, this sounds good. And you pick up the phone, he's like, hello, tell me about your fantasies and that. Yeah, all right, then. I'm in. So you do. And then you think, right, well, can't wait to hear from Jean Jose. I'll just put the telly on. You just sit back in your big luxury leather armchair. I'll just put the telly on. Click. And there is a recording of you saying, and I want you to spit in my face while you punch my kidneys. This is so fucked up. It's so fucked up. 20,000 complaints. It's a record in France. It's officially the most offensive TV show that's ever been broadcast in France. Officially, it's not even close to the others. 20,000 complaints, 250 regulators, politicians. It's probably going to get cancelled, isn't it?
Yeah, probably should.
Yeah, that is I just don't even understand. Not even 5 minutes to air. Oh, Cyril, you know that mad gay sketch that we've built the entire show around? Let's do a Brexit on that. Yeah, let's
call it off.
Yeah, just do some stand-up or something. It'll be all right. You know. And now for my next sketch, pretending to be the ghost of dead kids and calling their parents.
All right, news of the world.
Still alive, mother. Like, the fucking tastelessness of this is just, it just blows my fucking mind that anybody thought that was okay. Like, fuck me. So, shit. Should we do the William Legate thing? Do you want to get into William Legate? All right, okay. So, I don't know if the people out there in the world have heard of William Legate. You'd be forgiven for not really knowing who he is, because he is a nobody. He's literally a nobody. But what I started noticing was this nobody. There was this nobody account, and it started out, it was just a regular Twitter account, William Legate. And then it got verified, and I had a blue tick next to it. And I thought, well, it's just another liberal who knows somebody at Twitter and just got a check mark they didn't deserve because nobody would impersonate this person. Let's be clear about what the point of a check mark is. A check mark is, so if you see an inflammatory tweet by Richard Lewis, you know it was actually the real Richard Lewis that did it. And it always is, because I don't give a fuck. But it's to stop impersonation. It's to make sure you're following the right one, not a parody account. That's what the blue check mark is for. That's why when Twitter takes away check marks from people they don't like, you're actually contributing on Twitter to a fucking negative environment for the people who want to follow that person. You're enabling impersonation. You're enabling misattribution of quotes and that kind of thing. The check mark isn't a status symbol. It's there as a function of the website. So it's very weird to see all these fucking nobodies that have got them. I mean, utter nobodies. Like, these people don't want to be them. They spend their whole life living a lie. No one's going to fucking impersonate William Legate. Who the fuck's going to do that? Nobody even knew who the fuck this guy was. But he had a blue check mark. And I was watching this blue check mark. I couldn't miss it. Because every time there was a Donald Trump tweet, the immediate reply underneath, and I mean every time, was this guy, William Legate. And loads of retweets and everything else. And it just made no sense to me. How could this account, unless there was no fuckery going on, always be the top one that replied to Donald Trump? How could that be the case? He's not important enough to warrant it. If it was like Donald Trump saying, haha, just wrecked Obamacare, and Obama's underneath going, I'm a Mercury fam. I understand that tweet getting to the top. Right? Yeah. Understand that. If Obama always replied to Donald Trump, president, former president, there's some status involved, huge amount of followers, makes sense. William Legate had at the time, something like 40,000, 30,000 Twitter followers. Why is he always the top comment? And this prompted, I mean, again, you like to insult the left, but this prompted all these alt-right commentators, or not alt-right, you know what I mean? Like the fucking, the people who, no, not that. The ones who are just a little bit more over.
Specific. No, not that farm, the other one to the left by the barn.
The conservatives, they exist in this middle ground between the two.
Little village in between.
They like to flirt with being alt-right on the weekends. And there was a bunch of commentators like that who were like, how the fuck do we stop this cunt always being the top tweet? Again, I don't know. I've got better things to do than get involved in that. But I was watching it from afar. And eventually, Paul Joseph Watson, not alt-right, he saw it. And he said, you know what? I'm going to do the unthinkable. I'm going to reach out to William Legate. Even though they would tweet at each other back and forth, lots of arguments, Paul Joseph Watson called him up. And they had a pretty civil conversation by all accounts. And William Legate explained, I've figured out a way to game the Twitter algorithm. I'm literally gaming it. And this is kind of how you do it. And then all of a sudden, you started seeing your Paul Joseph Watsons, your Mike Cernoviches as the information spread. And then it became this constant battle. Who could be the top reply to a Donald Trump tweet? This is politics in 2017.
Yeah.
This is how it operates now.
This and handshakes, mate. How white were Macron's fist when he shook Putin's hand? Yeah, I don't give a fuck, man.
Donald Trump is so uncomfortable with handshakes. Haha, surely this is the end for Trump. Like, well, I'm out.
No.
This is so mental. So all of a sudden now, the battleground is set. People are trying to be that first reply, William Legate, more often than not, is. And he started tweeting out mad shit. Straight mad shit, like just straight lying. Like he tweeted out a lie about how like you could go to Donald Trump's website and get a recurring donation of $5,000 a month, and he was saying this is how he gouges his supporters. Like the president won't take a salary, but he'll gouge his supporters, something along those lines. Then somebody just went to the website, filmed it, and like, yeah, you can't do that. Max donation's $2,700 actually. So. And the max recurring is 150. So this guy was straight lying. You know, it was all hashtag resistance, all of that bullshit. But he was still being treated as like this mega important celebrity. Like, who the fuck is he? No, but like literally. I was trying to think, I started looking into it. And this guy's done fuck all. He's done nothing, right? So you go to his Wikipedia page, I'll tell you exactly. Like, I mean, in a Wikipedia page, he definitely didn't write. But look at this. He's an American entrepreneur, apparently. I mean, the only thing he's achieved of note in the last year is being a Twitter troll. When he was 18, he got a Thiel fellowship. Peter Thiel puts his money into these fellowships, grants, which if you've got a good idea and you're under 20 and you want to pursue it and become an entrepreneur, they'll give you $100,000 to go out and pursue it. I mean, William Legate doesn't need $100,000 because he comes from a very wealthy family anyway. So he's the classic image of white privilege in action, if it ever existed, right? He's the guy who's railing against this shit. It's like, it's mad. I've never understood it, the disconnect. Yeah, all this bloody white privilege. Aren't your parents multimillionaires and you don't ever have to have a job because they just give you like a subsidy every month to live off? Yeah, it's bloody mad, all that white privilege. And like, it's not white privilege, it's your privilege. I don't have that. I don't have, yo, mum, how much money you got? Fuck all again. All right, sound
£3, so.
Yeah, I'm off to beg for scraps. Laters, where's my privilege? It's not there, is it? I've had a graft to get to where I am. So, he got $100,000 to create an app, and he went in and he made this app Ponder, right? And Ponder is meant to be like an app where you share videos and photos like everything else that's out there. Guess what the hook was? Guess what the gimmick was? No trolls, bullying, or negativity. So I mean, straight away this guy's an absolute fucking bitch. Like, you just can't cope with it at all. I mean, because like, what? Where's all this news about bullying on like fucking Snapchat and Instagram? Come on, relax. You get one story once in a blue moon, and it's usually children at school. Some child who's not even old enough to have an account on a social media website has one, gets bullied. It's that story every time. So he made Ponder. And of course, everybody's fallen over themselves to say, this is going to be the best thing ever, because he's in that clique of liberals and knows people in the media. It's interesting, isn't it, how he took money from Pete Thiel. Didn't have a problem with that. Doesn't have an issue taking Pete Thiel's money and using $100,000 of Pete Thiel. Hasn't given it back now that Pete Thiel's politics are revealed, and we know Pete Thiel's a conservative. William Legate, a principled kid. But Teen Vogue wrote him up. Business Insider. These ideological compromised publications wrote him up saying, oh, God, he's amazing. Right? He was declared by Business Insider in 2014 the most powerful 20-year-old in tech. Who is this cunt? So anyway, for some reason, I think just consumed by fucking hubris, he decided that what he was going to do was he was going to start attacking certain figures and indeed certain websites. So he would regularly tweet things about Trump. That's fair enough. He's the president of the United States. You're not doing nothing to him. But then he started on the Mike Cernoviches, the Paul Joseph Watsons, spreading misinformation, getting all these retweets, getting all these tweets, fucking with the algorithm, which he's completely openly admitting to doing, not getting banned off Twitter for doing it because he's attacking the right targets. But then he fucked up, Sam. He fucked up in a way I can't even believe you would ever fuck up. He called out 4chan, didn't he? He's only got the absolute madman.
The equivalent of saying to someone with a gun, "You ain't gonna shoot me."
Yeah. You ain't gonna shoot. You ain't gonna shoot.
And dead.
And definitely shoots. So he called out fucking 4chan. You'll see the tweet here. He goes, "I own you, 4chan." This was on the 23rd of May. "I own you, 4chan. Don't you ever forget 4D chess." Right? And this was at the time he was pumping out misinformation about getting Sean Hannity fired from Fox News, because obviously we know there's a super PAC that's pretty much dedicated to getting the traditional conservatives removed from Fox News. So because that's like the last bastion of all the media groups. So what they're looking to do is get the old dinosaurs out, get their people in, work them up the food chain, and all of a sudden Fox News is indistinguishable from an MSNBC. That's the long-term plan. So he said that. Don't mess with 4chan. Well, I'm just going to put this out there. That is mental. Never do that. If you ever, no matter how bad your life gets, don't ever call out 4chan, because they'll find who you are. And they'll fuck with you. And indeed they did. And they found out that this guy, they found out where he lives, what he does. It wasn't hard. On his Wikipedia page, he lives in Atlanta, Georgia. He's probably just down the road from me. That's, and his all these details about his family. So with that, they were able to find a photograph of him. Okay? And this is the photograph. Now, he's pretty much as to be expected. Skinny little rich kid, the typical liberal. But there's something a bit weird about this picture, Sam. And it's his nipples, mate. I'm being serious. This motherfucker got burger nips. Have you seen this? Like, am I wrong? Because my nipples are tiny. I got tiny little nips. Like, tiny little. You know what I mean? Like a little mouse's winky. Mine are tiny. But look at that. People in the chat. What are those? What are those? Sam, please. Right, because I've never seen your nipples, actually.
Good, let's keep it that way.
Right, please. Let's definitely keep it that way. But
no, they're not that big.
Yours
I
aren't
wouldn't
big.
say they're tiny, but they're not that.
So
I'd say about 70% of those.
Right, men's nipples aren't sexual content. You can report this. I think it's fine. So this is the original. People are going, yeah, but it's a Photoshop. This is the original, guys. This is the original. And you can see they're pretty big. I'm just going to put it out there. I think those are freakishly large nips. They're like fucking, the wheels on a wheelie bin. He's got wheelie bin tits, hasn't he? Right? But obviously, what then started getting spread around was this picture, right? Which you'll notice a slight adjustment. William Legate had a fucking upgrade on his tits.
As if anyone thought this was the original. Fuck off! If that was the original, mate, he'd be a different species.
Well, let's have a look. Let's get him up there. Look at that, mate. Look at that, right? So this picture started getting spread around, and it got spread on the internet, and it was using the hashtag Nipplegate, right?
Got him.
So this is going everywhere. Every conservative, every internet troll, just anybody who's just sick of this bullying, harassing, liberal fucking nonsense on social media retweeted this out. And, you can even see Paul Joseph Watson tweeted, "Nipplegate is real," a riff on the whole Pizzagate thing. Like, using the hashtag, all of his followers seeing it. So Legate tried to fucking stand firm. He tried to stand firm. All right. And this is what he did. So he changed his picture to that of when he was a kid to try and stop people syncing up his identity. Because everyone was going, "Look at those. It's definitely him. Look, it's his face on the thing." So he changed it to a baby picture. By the way, side note, when you're on that Tinder, Sam?
Yeah.
Why the fuck do people do that on their accounts? Have you ever seen that?
No,
but
I don't think so.
They're a kid on Tinder.
No, I don't think so.
I'm getting you on a kid. Don't do that. If you ever do that, don't do that. Don't use yourself as a kid on Tinder. That's some of the creepiest shit I've ever seen. I'm not interested in that. I want to see you as I don't care how bad it got. You know what I mean? Imagine explaining
I know
that.
it's rough now, but look where I came from. Yeah, I don't care, man.
Imagine explaining that one when Chris Hansen comes out.
You've swiped right on a child on Tinder, sir.
28, it says. I thought it was a baby picture. No, they're just horrifically underdeveloped and under a new law. You're going to have to take a seat. You have to take a seat. Chris Hansen's trying to come back, by the way. You seen this?
No.
Hey, he did a Kickstarter.
What, no one's willing to hire him? Surely there must be one station giving him money.
Oh, dude, right, fucking, let's get into Chris Hansen. Let's wrap up William Legate, and then we're going to do Chris Hansen. I can't believe you don't know. It's so good. It's mad, right? Absolutely mad. So, anyway, so he changed his, image, and he went like that, right? And then he started saying, let me just, is that the right one? Yeah. So he was trying to be resolute at first. And he was like, you're not going to get me off Twitter, lads. You're not going to get me, 4chan. Right? I have made a block list. Right? Now, this block list has 128,000 people on it. Blocktogether.org. I'm one of them.
Sound.
I'm one of them for some reason. So it's obviously combining other block lists, because I think I ended up on a Randy Harper block list because I worked for Breitbart. So my Twitter account automatically got flagged. So I'm in some block lists, and then I think he's amalgamated a bunch of block lists. So this blocks 128,000 people. 128,000 people. Pre-blocked, which, by the way, if you're Twitter, this should be against your terms of service, right? I'm all for blocking people, right? I'm all for that. If you say something stupid to me, I'm going to block your ass, right? I got no time. I got no truck for morons. Do you know what it's like just existing? Do you know how many morons you're going to encounter on a fucking day-to-day basis? Plenty. I ain't got time for extra ones who think they've got some form of special access because of social media. Hey, Rich, just wanted to say this. Your last video was shit because you didn't watch the video properly, did you? You missed the thing that came after the thing. Yeah, well, you choked a guy. Fuck up. Right, okay. You're a moron. Bye. Where you go. Where you go. So I'm all for blocking people. And I think you've got to offer a blocking service and anything like this. Otherwise, the platform would be intolerable for some people. But block people based on your interactions. Anybody peddling a pre-block list is basically going against the whole point of Twitter. You might be on that list and never know. And you might be like, right, well, I'm just going to follow it. Just going to follow it. Fuck, can't follow him either. Because you've been labeled something you might not be. Like, I'm pretty sure, look what he says here on the thing. Over 100,000 people blocked in the past 24 hours. I've tried allowing Trump supporters to comment on my posts, but they've lost that privilege. Who is this cunt? Remember, this is a guy who has a failed app. He got 100 grand, already rich, already from millionaire parents. And he got 100 grand to make an app which failed. Go try and download Ponder now. You'll get a 404. Right? Then he goes, subscribe to my block list here, and you'll auto-block people as I add them. This is only the worst of the worst. 128,000 people on Twitter are the worst of humanity. Is that what I'm supposed to believe? So this is when he was feeling brave, but this is the problem, mate. It's fucking 4chan, dude. They ain't stopping. Now, I can't show you the picture of the next tweet, but they found out his family, and I don't agree with this, by the way. Like, leave his fucking family out of it. But people were, like, ringing up his mother, his father, and go, do you know your son's a total cook? And, like, hanging up and shit, right? I don't agree with that. So he had to put his own phone number out to make it stop. He had to put his own phone number out. Like, please call this one. Please harass me.
Cuck to my face, please.
Please harass me, 4chan. Stop. So I can't show you the tweet because he's got his number on it. Right? If you disagree with my tweets, attack me, please. What's interesting as well is, by the way, this guy who made the biggest block list I've ever seen on Twitter regularly called people snowflakes and all that shit if he got blocked. This guy begging, please, please, I'm getting wrecked on the internet, please. My nipples aren't that big, please. This guy is calling people snowflakes. This is what I mean about liberal reappropriation of that term, but they can't do it. They can't walk the walk. So, obviously now his family's involved. William Legate, liberal fucking spokesperson, his family's involved. I couldn't believe this fucking... This is like M. Night Shyamalan. What a twist. What a twist. Because his fucking parents don't agree. They don't agree with him. Let me... Where was it? It was here. So this was a collection of tweets from probably one of the 4chaners who was involved. I can only speculate about that, but collated them here. And just look, this is his dad, Dwayne Legate. I have nothing to do with William's tweet. I don't agree with his philosophy. Please leave me out of this. Your war is with him. That's your dad, homie. Yeah, listen, if you must attack us, take my son. Take my son with the freakishly large nipples. I never thought he was mine. Take him, kill him. But leave me alone. Like, et tu, Brute, you know. Next tweet. You are mad at William, understandably so. But if you harass me and my family, how are you different? Right? Then, William doesn't live in Georgia. You've posted his mother's info. She disagrees strongly with what he's doing. His mother as well. His mother too. She fucking can't stand him either. We're sick of him. He's such a disappointment. Please just take it down, please. Next tweet. My company and me have nothing to do with William. I'm a conservative. And I disagree vehemently with what he is doing. Please stop, thanks. He just got absolutely wrecked in a way you couldn't foresee. Rejected by your parents in public. Your parents don't subscribe to your fucked up freaky politics. They think what you're doing is harassment. And when the mob came with the burning torches and the fucking rope, they said, yeah, just have him. He's been pissing us off way longer than he's So at this point, right, because even his brother got involved. His brother said that for the calls that he'd received, they were calling the FBI, and it's like he put his own number out. Yeah, yeah.
That's not.
I'm not sure how that's going to work. So, what does he do next? Do you want to know how the story ends? I think you can have a guess, Sam. Well, it turned out He doesn't own 4chan. He doesn't even own a Twitter account anymore. He deleted it. He completely Brexited. This guy, who had been one of the most kind of recognized anti-Trump trolls that there's been on this Twitter platform, just pieced the fuck out, deleted everything. I got to say as well, I'm highly dubious about his number of followers. Not just because, I mean, like, I understand there's a market in bashing everything Trump says. It's what the mainstream media have been doing for fucking, 18 months plus now. Like, probably longer. I understand the market. I understand that, where his Twitter account was when he should have down 65,000 followers. But here's the thing. I did a Twitter audit on it. And it said 100% of his followers were real. There's no way.
Nah. Check anyone who's watching, go check one. Any other Twitter. It's like nobody who has 100%.
Yeah. So I think, honestly, he was even using bots and sock puppet accounts. It gets even more interesting what William Legate was doing. Because the guy who founded Gab AI, right, revealed, and I don't know if this was professional or not, but he revealed that William Legate had joined up for Gab and he'd signed up for multiple sock puppet accounts. He'd created 20 accounts that they were able to find on Gab AI. And the guy who founded it came out and called him out on a podcast he did with Paul Joseph Watson. It's interesting. So a lot of people are now looking at, was William Legate like, did he work for ShareBlue, Media Matters? Does he have ties to the DNC? I guess we'll find out. There'll be more on that story. But the bottom line is, he was nipple shamed. Nipple shamed off the internet. And I think that's amazing. So look, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to, because I do want to talk about this Chris Hansen stuff. I haven't forgot. But just while we're on this topic, let me find this. Fuck. I nearly forgot about this. I'll tell you what. We'll take a commercial break because this has come out of left field. Because I want to get the Chris Hansen stuff and I want to get this other story come on. So let's take a short break, 2 minutes. Everybody relax, go get some drinks. We'll come back and we'll do the second half of the show in just a bit. All right, so welcome back to the Richard Lewis Show. So, look, there was this account on Twitter, another one of these verified liberal types. And, I mean, I don't know if you've seen it. It's Best Bell, right? Best Bell. Yeah. This is how it links into the William Legate thing. Because it's interesting, isn't it, how they want it both ways. They like to be able to block anyone they want. They like block lists. They like their safe spaces. When anyone blocks them, they fucking lose their mind because they believe that their opinions are so important that everybody should have to hear their shit. And this Best Bell account is an absolute... this is the definition of a mess. Definition of an absolute fucking mess. So I came across this account. On the bio, for starters, it says I write for a late night television program and TNY shouts, and I have written for the Oscars and the Emmys. It's amazing you've got time to get any writing done, love, because you just spend your entire time tweeting into the fucking void. Again, just all this anti-Trump bullshit. And there's actually been a rumor circulating, which I'll repeat the rumor, but it is just a rumor, and I haven't confirmed the veracity of this. But again, like these anti-Trump super PACs, these liberal media groups have been paying people by the tweet. If you're a prominent account, you've got a certain amount of followers, you get paid per tweet, that you make about Donald Trump. And again, you've got to have a certain amount of following and a certain amount of influence to get this. And again, dare I say it makes you think. But she tweeted just yesterday that she'd been blocked by Donald Trump. Horror of horror, right? Now, I'll just go out on a limb here. To get blocked by an account that's followed by millions and millions of people, one of the most, if not the most, followed account on Twitter. To get blocked by that, you've got to be a fucking shambles. You've got to be a mess human being. Let's just get that out there. Because how would they even notice you? You know, if William Legate doesn't get blocked by Donald Trump and he was a deliberate Twitter troll that was fucking with the algorithm, it would be the number one reply. Then what do you have to do? So she tweeted it out and was like, oh my effing God, the president of the United States just blocked me on Twitter because I hurt his feelings. MAGA.
One thing I didn't see ever notice, is Trump the one managing his tweets 24/7? Like, I know he tweets sometimes, but he has also got a massive fucking team. Like,
I am so sick of this, right? Because the idea, right, that Donald Trump sits at his like when you
yeah, he's got shit on. Don't know if you noticed.
It's not him. Like I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but you know, right? Kanye West has had a fucking mental breakdown. He's got nothing going on, and it's probably not him on his Twitter all the time. You know what I mean? He still gets somebody to come on and tweet now and then. You got to have somebody who just tweets your boring, mundane shit. And I don't think there's any way that every tweet that goes out on the Donald Trump Twitter is by Donald Trump.
Yeah, I'd say the minority of them are.
Right? So, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's absurd. But then, look, from now on, there is only one snowflake. Let's see how many people you block, love. Get your block list out, right? Then I'd like to summarize my feelings about this in one. Radical feminist sculpture. I mean, look at this. 8,900 likes. You know,
what is that? What is she on about, mate? You've been following this guy, just spouting mental illness in for months. You got blocked. He's like, well, I defeat the patriarchy again. I'm like, what?
It is mortifying yet unsurprising to me that the leader of the free world could be so wounded by the gentle ribbing of a comedy writer. And if I could talk to him now, I'd tell him, Donald, sticks and stones may break your bones, but articles of impeachment will harm you. I mean, by the way, again, if you're a comedy writer, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know? Like, the only comedy is your fucking life. And it's not particularly funny.
We saw what happened to all the late night shows now, mate.
It's a dark comedy. Right? So on she goes, and she goes, I'd like to very politely decline all press requests. If you're a journalist, I don't know if this will ever be found by these types of people, this podcast, but if you're a journalist and you reached out for comment for somebody who got blocked by the official president of the United States Twitter account, you are doing Satan's work on planet Earth. You are fucking scum. You are a joke. You are a disgrace to the profession. You need to fucking sit down, have a rethink, perhaps even just sell everything. Sell your house, sell your car, sell your clothes, and just walk into the wilderness and just reassess where you are as a human being. Just go feral for a little while. Reconnect with real life. Because you are Satan's little fucking helpers. Right? So she made a statement about it, which is just a link to a picture of a cat. Okay. But here's the thing. So loads of liberals then get in touch with her and are going, you know, because you were blocked by the president of the United States, maybe you can get a Freedom of Information Act. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to take, we're liberals. We can block anyone we like, but we don't have to take getting blocked lying down. We don't have to do it. So a load of these fucking, internet lawyers, again, liberal types who don't know the fucking law from a hole in the ground, start encouraging her and tweeting her, yeah, look, I bet you totally could. And they're like, hello, Twitter, Jack, please release the full list of verified citizens real Donald Trump has blocked as president for expressing dissent. Well, what you're asking Twitter to do there is to violate data protection law.
Yeah, what? That's not the same thing. Isn't what's it called? A demand of information only for yourself, and what information they retain of you.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's like you can demand, right, under, again, because you're a US citizen, I don't know the name of the particular law, but there's a data protection law. In the UK, it's obviously called the Data Protection Act. If you're a European and you're requesting it from an American company, it's the US EU Privacy Shield. But I'm not too sure of the specific legislation in the US and what it's called. But she even said that she was looking at a Freedom of Information Act request, which in no way would this
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's only for yourself, right?
No. Freedom of information can be, you can ask for stuff that pertains to anything that's in the public interest, an FOIA request. But this wouldn't count. This is a private Twitter account on a private platform. That's the argument they use every time they ban somebody. If you start saying it's subject to freedom of information, therefore it's in the public domain, the public have a right to know the things that go on, everybody's allowed on. Everybody can say anything they want. You can't ban them anymore. It's either a private business or it's not. So she is just reeing away, about fucking wanting to get access to a list of people, and people are encouraging this. This has been retweeted as of now, and this is less than a day old. This has been retweeted 4,500 times, 12,000 likes. It's one of the more popular tweets. People are saying, yes, Twitter should violate data protection law. Let's take away people's data protection rights. We're liberals. We don't care about free speech. We don't care about data protection laws. We just want to get what we think and feel is fair. And to hell with it, as long as it serves us. Okay? So she's going absolutely fucking spare. Now, one person, right, just this will give you a great insight into the mind of this fucking person. This was Richard A. Mills. Okay, activist, writer, content creator, media specialist, has been published in, the Washington Examiner, Daily Caller. So seems to be one of the people in that media sphere who can spot crazy, which is probably all of his colleagues and co-workers. I feel sorry for Richard Mills. But look, he put this tweet out, and just have a look at this. So she wonders why she's been blocked and is like screeching into the void about how unfair it is. So Richard Mills filmed her scrolling all of her tweets at Donald Trump. Just look at this. It's terrifying how mentally ill this person is.
We just went past 1 day, by the way.
Yeah.
So it took about 5 seconds of scrolling of 1 day. Sound. Another day.
She
it doesn't even end. I thought it would at least get to the bottom. It just stops.
No, mate, he couldn't do it. There's a fucking size limit on how big a file can be when you upload it. Right? That's what she's doing in her time. Now, keep in mind, of course, all these other fucking, pieces of shit out there, like Ellen Powell, who's got a new company, right? She's been pressurizing. She's been pressurizing Twitter, using her status as, I don't know, having been one of the most disgracefully poor CEOs at a tech company ever. She's been using her status to basically apply pressure to Twitter and saying we should ban Donald Trump. I mean, she wanted to ban Donald Trump's account. Right? Because apparently he harasses people when he tweets at them. Right? This was the article. Let me see if I can find it. It was on Medium, of course. And here it was. This was a while ago, but this is what they say. This was in January. So it's time to suspend Donald Trump from Twitter. This is after he's won. It's time to suspend the president of the United States from Twitter because he replied to something somebody said about him.
I can't make it bad. Fair play. No, not bad. I appreciate it.
And goof. She started her own project, which, by the way, she's changed it now. She's now a chief diversity and inclusion officer at the Kapoor Center and venture partner at Kapoor Capital. Why you would let anybody whose husband was involved in a fucking Ponzi scheme near venture capital, I don't know. But that's fine. It's okay to rob people who've worked their entire lives to invest in property. That's fine. No problems with that. I mean, this woman is a fucking piece of shit. But yes, let's get Donald Trump off Twitter. And at the time she'd started it was obviously just probably something that a bunch of her friends just gave her some money to run. She started a company where it was like, let's stop all this bullying and harassment on social media and let's start with Donald Trump. Well, according to you guys, tweeting at someone incessantly is bullying and harassment. So
there we go, turning the rules on them again, mate. Yeah. They're bloody snowflakes, aren't we?
So it's just ridiculous. It's completely insane. So obviously that fucking Best Bell, I mean, just seriously mentally ill. The idea, and this is what I mean when I talk about the idea of one of the worst. This is why I honestly believe social media triggers these mental illnesses, because in her mind, she thinks she's talking to the president of the United States. She thinks she's that important. She thinks that she is in a direct dialogue with one of the most important people on planet Earth. You ain't. You're tweeting into the void. No one cares what you think. No, you have no influence. And you've finally been blocked for spam, basically. I mean, you are the intellectual equivalent of an email for dick enlarging pills. That's what you are. That's all you are. That's all you'll ever be. And when this anti-Donald Trump train comes crashing to a fucking halt and the DNC fucking eats itself, you're going to be nothing. I mean, you will have nothing. You will be nothing. All right. So let's get to Chris Hansen. Did you not follow what was going on with Chris Hansen? Because obviously we all know To Catch a Predator, right? Well, yeah, let's just start at the beginning. What do you think of To Catch a Predator as a TV show?
What do I think of it?
Yeah, what do you think of it?
I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was good. Sort of like the good kind of social justice, I guess.
For me, I hated the show.
Why?
Because it created a very weird. It was the extreme realization of a very weird niche of American TV. Let me just rewind a little bit. How do we get To Catch a Predator? Did you ever watch the TV show Cheaters?
Yeah, I've seen that.
All right. So the TV show Cheaters. Okay, I remember watching this when I was at university. We had to study it as for part of my media degree. And it was in 2000, 2001, I don't know, around about then. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was a pretty woke student.
Were you though?
Yeah, I like to snap. No, I mean, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. My politics, I wouldn't say they've done a 180, but I've been at one point a paid-up member of the Socialist Workers' Party. That's true.
Fucking hell.
So anyway, when I was at university, we had to study this, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. We sat down for our seminar and we watched a 1-hour show of Cheaters. And for those that don't know, Cheaters was basically, it had this guy in it. The original guy was Tommy Habib, but the longest running host on it was Joey Greco. And basically what they did was, I mean, it's Joey Greco who made the show famous. Basically what they did was they'd hired detectives. So if you thought your partner was cheating on you, you would go to Cheaters and you'd be like, yeah, my partner's slipping someone else.
Can we go spy on him?
Yeah, go spy on them. Now, I don't want to burst anyone's bubble. Cheating isn't against the law, guys. It's not. Sorry, you might have your own ethical concerns about it, but it's not against the law. And the whole point of hiring a private detective is when you hire a private detective and they've got all special licenses and everything, and you're doing it for you as the individual probably have a right to know. It'll get factored into any divorce proceedings, so it's excusable. Putting it on on national TV for the enjoyment of Joe Public, shaming the guilty party is madness. It's utter madness. This, for me, is probably the low point of American TV. I don't think this has ever been beaten in terms of just American TV just plumbing the depths.
What about Jersey Shore, mate? It's like everything mixed in one.
That's nothing. Pointing a camera at a bunch of idiots pointing a camera at a bunch of idiots. Those people volunteer to go on that show and behave like idiots. It's all they know. That guy who, they're all
human beings.
They're all idiots. They're all idiots. And the only thing this is the high point of their lives, that their idiocy has been rewarded by someone shoving a camera in their face, and maybe they get a book deal or a diet pill, right? Or a spin-off show, a guest appearance on late night TV. It's you've got to let these morons have something. You've got to let them have something. I'm all right with it. Cheaters, though, that guy, right? You don't know the context. And it wasn't always guys. Sometimes they would go after women as well. But you don't know the context of why that person's cheating. You don't know about, the cameras aren't there for the miserable 10 years of marriage. Come on, can we have sex tonight? No, I don't want to fucking, right, please, we haven't done it for years. No, I'm just not into you anymore. You fucking gross. All right, fine.
So,
I need to do the washing up.
You're lucky I can't afford to divorce you with these kids.
But, they're not there for just the fucking horrible, mundane bullshit of just having none of your needs met by your partner because you've just fallen out of love with them. And this goes both ways. It's not gender specific. Not having your sexual needs met, not having your intellectual needs met, not even, outside of maybe the money coming into a joint bank account. And even then you don't get to live like you want to. And then one day you go out to a bar, you're sipping a few fucking drinks, and again, not gender specific, and someone comes up to you and they're interested. They're interested in you as a person. Just like, you remember when you used to be a person before you got married, before you got miserable, you used to have interests,
People
you
were
used to go out.
To you.
Yeah, and now you're getting that little giddy thrill again. Oh, my Lord, I'm still human. I'm still here. I'm still interesting. I still matter. This person believes it. And they might be some fucking silver-tongued person just trying to get fucking laid one way or the other, but it doesn't matter. For that moment in time, the illusion, the seduction of mattering again. And, oh, God, no, should we? Oh, me, let's get a hotel. Wow, I can't believe I'm doing this. You've been sexually faithful for 10 fucking years, climbing the walls, oral sex on your birthday, breakfast in bed, bored out your fucking mind, and now you're going to have somebody rag you right. So you take it. You accept it. You have it. And then it turns out it ain't just about the sex. The person you're meeting in the hotels, they're fucking interesting. You want to hang out with them. They're actually nourishing your mind. So you start making more and more time. You start telling more and more lies. But it's a problem because you got to make time for the kids. You got to make time for work. And then you're supposed to make time for your partner on top of that. Where do I fit this in? So the stories have to get more and more outlandish, don't they? Oh, my sister just got taken out of a cult and we're having a deprogramming session tonight. I got to go. And the lies, they just spin and build up and build up. And the person that's looking at you, without ever looking at themselves, by the way, they don't think, how have I fucking drove this person to this? They start, but her sister was deprogrammed from a cult last week. And then what they do is, so now they start snooping. They're already snooping. You don't go to the detective straight away, do you? You are the detective, first of all. So you have a little snoop. You start checking their phone. Let's get the code for their phone. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the Chinese takeaway that we order from all the time because our lives are so boring and routine. And you ring it and someone picks up. Who this?
New phone, who this?
And you hang up. And now you know. And then, well, thank God for cookies. Yeah, we've got a shared family PC. I'll wait until they go to work and I'll check their emails. Strange emails with just numbers in. Subject lines with no content. What could it all mean?
He's a beat
all of a sudden, they're more cheery. You know you ain't doing anything to make them cheery. You're miserable. You're suspicious. They're fucking walking on sunshine. How's this happening? They're alive again. You're still hooked into the matrix of misery that is fucking existence. And they've got a little spark. So now is the time to hire the detective, right? So you go out, you get a detective. I think my partner's cheating on me. Detective, bored out of his mind, by the way, does 8 cases like this a week. Partners are always cheating. They always be cheating. Cynical, bored, miserable. No, it's fucking $40 an hour and all expenses paid. Okay, yeah, sure. I got to pay you on my credit card. They can never know. And the fucking detective comes back and says, yep. Turns out here's some photos of them. You might not want to look at these. You always look at them. You look at the picture. Someone just better than in a bush. Someone better than you. It's just somebody better than you. That's always the part that hurts, right? When somebody's cheating, you know you fucked up. You know they're better than you. But it's all right. That bitterness will propel you into righteous indignation. Don't self-analyze all the million ways you fucked up. Don't self-analyze how you put on weight, you got boring, you stopped paying attention, you worked a shitty job and you got too tired, so you just come home and fucking slump into the sofa or go to fucking bed, watch shit on your fucking iPad. You work yourself up into that frenzy because someone else wants to feel alive in your fucking proximity. How dare they? I'm dead. I'm the walking dead. How dare you not? We signed up for this. Marriage.
You told me sadness till the end.
We were meant to be dead together. That's what it said. Till death us do part. Mind death. Life death. The absence of experience. Now, imagine all of that is put on fucking TV. That eventual confrontation. The shaming. How dare you defy the vows? I don't even believe in them. I'm not Christian. We only did it so your parents would have a photograph. Something to think about before they fucking croaked. Because they're from a time when experiences don't matter. They're just locked in. And you're putting that on TV. You're going to put that on fucking TV. And of course, because there's cameras there, I'll tell you one thing. You put a camera in a human being's face, they behave differently. Of course they do. So the guy who's just dying inside because his wife's cheating on him, or the woman who can't fucking believe it, they don't act normal. They don't act sad. They go nuts. And the cameras are there hyping them up. I mean, seriously, Joey Greco used to always do this thing where he'd be like, he'd slide the photos across in a manila envelope. Now you don't have to look at those. But we've driven you to the location where they're fucking right now.
I know. He's just wiping his dick on the curtains.
If you just look, the silhouette, you will see an arc of cum. Yeah? Like a fucking salty rainbow. Just in the distance. And at the end of that salty rainbow, there's not a pot of gold. It's your wife's face. So you fucking, what do?
We burst in, she's still sticky. Your art's broken.
How could you do this? I knew you were doing this. I've got a fucking TV crew and private detective watching you 24/7. And let's have a fight. And they always fight the fucking person who's doing nothing wrong. I mean, that's what I hate about it. Because, first of all, if the confrontation happens, maybe the fight doesn't happen. The person you should always be annoyed with is the partner. The person who just signed up for some fucking free sex. Like, look, there's a ring on your finger. All right, I know. But I wasn't in that church.
Usually take it off.
I wasn't in that church with you. I wasn't at the back when you were going till death us do part, and I'm going, yeah, I wasn't there. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what little promises you made to your imaginary Sky God and each other. Like, I don't care. Care about the individual.
I'm here to get the job done.
And very much myself, right? So that person getting wailed on.
I just came to sling dick. Why?
What have I done? What have I done? Camera's just straight filming it, by the way. I'm the one getting shamed. Like, everyone's going, how dare you do that? How dare... What the fuck? What? You never try to get laid? You never turn a blind eye? You never fucked a friend's partner? You never did that?
We all make mistakes.
So why that person gets shamed on national TV? I don't know. I mean, they get their teeth kicked in and shamed on TV for just doing a natural human thing. And then it cuts to like, divorce proceedings were immediately filed. Due to the findings in the Cheetahs investigation, Donnell got the entire house and full access to the kids. Peter now lives on the streets, homeless, a wino, drinking Mad Dog 2020 every night. Coming up next on Cheetahs, what is this shit? Why is this happening? Now, I'm going to go a little bit controversial here. Right?
Here we go.
Right, this is where it might get mean.
Here we go.
Okay, just listen, yeah? And I'm going to show you this. There was this one time, right, and I'm just going to make sure I got the right clip, right? There was this one time I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Because, look, I said I hated cheaters. And by the way, everyone's like, well, where's To Catch a Predator? It's coming. And the thing is, the link's really tenuous. I'm just saying we wouldn't have had To Catch a Predator without this. That's going to be the link.
People are thinking, is he gonna protect all those pedos? Nah, we're just saying.
No, I'm not.
Both shows are mental.
in fact, I'm just saying they're mental things to put on TV. That's the connection. So if you're waiting for some great leap or but I'm gonna get controversial here. I just want to see if I can find a better copy of it. Is that it? That's Daily Motion, right? So there was this episode where Joe Greco, the legend, who was an actor, by the way, who just so happened to host Cheaters, he rocked up to cheating. Because this is the thing, because it's American TV as well, it's got to be formulaic, but you got to have the moments. It's because it's American TV. Formula is very important. So, like in Gordon Ramsay, right? You ever watch just UK Kitchen Nightmares and there's no music and there's no nothing? And I won't do the bit. I've done a bit on Kitchen Nightmares before, but but the bottom line is, it has to have the same formula every episode. And the only thing that's different is the insults or the confrontations. The order is always the same. Yeah. Well, but you've got to up the stakes a little bit. So you seek out crazier restaurant owners, and you end up with that Amy's one, Yeah. Well, Cheaters, what they were doing was they were always trying to find a new way to repackage that formula. And there was this episode where Joe Greco got stabbed.
Fucking hell.
No, hold on. That's not a full story. But just watch this fucking clip.
Probably don't even care.
3, 2, 1, go.
About her.
I think that's enough. Y'all need to back up and get out of my personal space.
So now you don't care?
When we get home, I'm gonna finish my afternoon.
You're not coming home. You are not coming home.
I'll be there when I do it. When me and my lady friend finish having our evening, then we'll see y'all.
The locks are gonna be changed.
Will y'all please back up and get off my boat I rented?
Nope.
I still see y'all staring at me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to back up.
I don't know if you can't show blood. Shall I pause it?
There's no blood.
Ah, okay.
Stop, Mitchell! Stop!
Put your hands behind your back. Put it back easy. We got him. Put it back easy. Put it back up. Right now? Joe, you alright? Come on. He's bleeding.
Oh my god.
Don't worry, he says he's bleeding. They don't show the blood.
Easy, get him out of here.
Oh my god. What is wrong with you, Mitchell?
Is this legit?
You're not gonna see me anymore.
I mean, like, he has just stabbed the guy and she's going, you ain't going to see me anymore.
No, we are over.
This is the last straw. Stabbing the guy who headed up the investigation into whether you were cheating or not.
Hey, I'm gonna call you, boo. You gonna get me?
I'm gonna call you, boo.
Just a little bit on his problems. But anyway, basically, the rest of the scene going like,
I can't hear you, by the way. You need to pause the video.
Right, now here's the thing, okay? So when I heard about this, because this was in when did this happen? It was 2009, so the show had been on air for a while, and it was like they were constantly trying to, raise the bar and have more memorable moments, right? And Greco just so happened to get fucking stabbed on air. Now, Inside Edition interviewed the woman in that scene, the one who's going, "We're totally over now that you stabbed the guy."
It's gotta be fake, surely.
And she said, "Yeah, it was all staged. It was all
Yeah.
fake." So then they confronted Joe Greco, and Joe Greco said, "I can't answer any of your questions legally."
Maybe it's an NDA or something, was there?
Right? And the head of the police department said there were no arrests made. So just let that sink in. Guy stabs TV host on TV show, no arrests made. But they even showed him getting arrested and handcuffed. So the whole thing was fake, right? I think that's safe to say. So yeah, massive didn't happen. It was a classic didn't happen. But right, so Richard, why are you all talking about Cheaters so much? Again, I told you it was coming. So Cheaters, for me, was pretty much what opened the door for Catch a Predator, because it had gone to places that was so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. You had constant fighting. You had people being spied on, invasions of privacy, fake stabbings, that suddenly American TV became a place where conceivably you could pitch a fucking show. Hey, how about we pretend to be children, we lure pedophiles to a house, and we film their reactions when they're confronted by a reporter? So To Catch a Predator started round about the time Cheaters was having its little kind of decline. I'm trying to think. What year did it actually start? Was it like 2007? I think. Oh, no, it started in 2004, my bad. And it ended in like 2007. So that's the original series. And this is what we were going to talk about. Where is Chris Hansen now? Now, I hated this show because when I saw this many years later, I was like all out of university and everything. I thought this is just such an alarming trend, right? An alarming trend. And I think the reason I hated it was not because it catches pedophiles, but it set like very worrying legal precedents for me. That you could have this TV show like amateur hour bullshit, luring people in who are a danger to fucking society, no doubt about it, and then humiliate them on air. And what would pretty much always happen, if you look into it, was the convictions would fall through. A lot of people didn't get charged.
Yeah, because of entrapment, I saw like a lot of people got let off.
And this is so I'll get into this in a bit more detail, because I wasn't the only person who thought this wrong. I mean, this NBC, it was on Dateline NBC. This show was universally fucking criticized. And people were just like that this is about ratings, and there was all these reports leaking out that, for example, what they were doing was they would pick them. I mean, again, just think about how demented this is. They would pick the more interesting child predators. So. Yeah, the ones that they thought would be better on TV. Let that sink in. Just think about that, right? You're like, yeah, this guy, look how funny and goofy this guy is. Let's look at his photo. Let's get him in. Wow, what a look, So they would pick people on that basis, that it wasn't like, yeah, let's go with this guy. We'll make because they did ones that didn't air on TV, and they just passed them on to the authorities. Now, and the vetting they did, because the only thing they cared about was the pedophilia, which is fine. Like, lock these fuckers up, right? But they arrested one guy who had fucking like cerebral palsy. Yeah. This is why it's got to be handled by trained professionals. And it was just unreal. I mean, forget the whole entrapment issue, because that's definitely a real thing, but there's been a number of cases in the UK with like other people who followed this kind of model, like Stinson Hunter and that thing, where it's stood up in court because they've worked with local authorities, kept them updated at every stage of the investigation, haven't crossed any legal thresholds. And it's mad to think that a YouTuber can do that, but a fucking TV network couldn't. And anyway, there was a producer, right, who helped produce the show. And she said that the show was in line. There was this like internet group called Perverted Justice that used to track down suspected pedophiles. And she came out and said like, oh, we're in line with that group. We don't really have as good a relationship with like police organizations as we've made out. This kind of stuff. And this is why there was 23 suspected predators that it caught in Texas, because they were doing their offshoot. Perverted Justice did a sting operation. They all got let loose. Many of the people who appeared on the show got cut loose. It was just ridiculous. So this idea that it caught anybody, it did. But it was clearly more about the ratings. It was just more about getting a guy in a fucking chair. And it's sort of like theater in a way. You know when you have the fucking pantomime villain, everyone gets to boo, like obviously pedophiles are fucking bad. No one's saying otherwise. But to put that shit on TV and risk a conviction and to risk the safety of children as a result of it is really awful. And I never liked Chris Hansen because he seemed to revel in being the face of that.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Chris Hansen. Sit down. Take a seat. And he like shot to prominence because of this show. Like, who was? Did you know who Chris Hansen was? Catch a Predator. Never heard of the motherfucker. And as a result of that, there's this like grotesque thing he's doing where he's trying to dine out on like, hey, remember me? I'm the guy who did a TV show that purported to catch child sex predators, but because of the way we handled our entrapment, they actually got released back into society. Some even, I mean, shit, there was a fucking suicide. I don't know if you, like, look, again, I'm sure there's people out there who are like, yeah, well, fuck them, But let me just find this. There was an instance, where a guy got caught on To Catch a Predator, and he shot himself. Just checked the fuck out as soon as it happened. Like pretty much at the fucking scene, I think. When the SWAT team came up, because here's what happened as well. Yeah, this guy got away. So, like, he just walked out the house and went home, and then the SWAT team turned up, so he just shot himself in the head.
Oh.
And the argument is that had it not been on TV, he would have just gone to jail, would have just served his time. But because it was on TV and all the shamings and everything else, and that element, that aspect of it, that, like, when you get out of prison as a fucking child sex offender, you got to declare it to everybody. Your life's going to fucking suck, and it should. Because what you've done is completely fucking unforgivable and irredeemable. But again, there's something ghoulish about putting this on TV for the entertainment of everybody. It just doesn't sit right with me. So they had a bunch of shit, and this is why it got cancelled. But Chris Hansen, all right, because he stayed with NBC Dateline. So because of the reveling he took in his work, he got caught cheating on his wife. Right. They did a sting on him. Right. So, and it's not the same. I suppose it helps me fucking link to cheaters a little bit better. How ironic that the format of the show that enabled his show that he rose to fame of would come back to haunt him. It's tenuous. It's not the best link in the world. But basically, he got caught by hidden cameras cheating on his wife. And for some reason, and I don't understand this, I think maybe it was because the person he was cheating with was a journalist. He got fired from the network.
What?
They fired him for cheating, yeah. It's weird, I know.
What if he had said he's like some sort of religion where he doesn't believe in monogamy? It's got to be a way to cheese your way out of that.
I would have made it worse, Sam. I think if your defense is, hey, y'all can't chastise me for cheating, I'm a polygamist.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't think that's going to work.
Got him.
I don't think that's going to help. But so there you go. So he got caught by hidden cameras cheating on his wife. And NBC, he'd been there 20 years in a variety of roles before he kind of rose to public consciousness with To Catch a Predator. And there you have it. He was out. So now he's in the wilderness, right? And what's he going to do? I mean, he's kind of been publicly humiliated. Gives him a unique, insight into what that's like. And then he did a show called Killer Instinct. Because for some reason, like, this is just a dude. This is just a TV host. This is all he is. He used to be a reporter, I think, in Chicago or something. And he's just fucking got nothing to do with crime. He's not trained. He doesn't know how to conduct a police investigation or anything like that, Yeah. But because of To Catch a Predator, he's just like, hey, we're doing a show about serial killers. And I'm Chris Hansen, and today on Killer Instinct, we're going to talk about... And it's like, you haven't got a degree in criminology. Who the fuck are you? It's madness. So he decided, right, because like he was out there just twisting in the wind. He decided he was going to go back to what he does best, which is apparently exposing pedophiles in dubious entrapment cases which fall through when they go to court. So he did a Kickstarter, right? This is true. He did a Kickstarter because he was pitching the idea to networks again. And everyone was like, oh, yeah, To Catch a Predator. I remember that show. It was the one where all the pedophiles came into a room. Virtually none of them got convicted. There was a bunch of stuff about conflict of interest, and you worked with a dubious vigilante group online. Yeah, we're not going to touch that at our network. That seems a bit irresponsible. So he did this. He did this Kickstarter, right? If you were Chris Hansen...
This would be huge if you brought this to YouTube or something, mate. Imagine how big it'd be, though. Maybe we should get some money together, mate.
Chris Hansen, and you wanted to make a comeback, dining out on the whole To Catch a Predator thing, what would you call your proposed new show on your Kickstarter? What would you call it? New
prey. I don't know, something edgy like that. Yeah.
No, he went with the more hubris-filled Hansen versus Predator. That was like in the Predator franchise of all time. So look what it says here. Chris Hansen here. You've asked and I've heard you. We're going after predators again. Together. So it's not enough that this guy has been involved in this like dubious method of tracking down fucking predators. He literally is now going to crowdfund it, which just makes it even more irresponsible. Where are the checks and balances? Crowdfunded To Catch a Predator. I can think of nothing worse. Look at this. He called his Google Hangout, have a seat with Chris Hansen. I don't want to ever hear, please have a seat from you. I don't want to hear that. Like, you're missing the fucking
you
point.
You pledge £200, we will play a prank on your mate and pretend that he's been mixed up.
But can you imagine that? That would have been a beaut.
I would have been donated, mate.
Oh, yeah, brilliant.
Comes to your house, mate. Chris Hansen on the door. Richard, can you have a seat, please? Strap a GoPro to his head, mate. We'll put that on the channel and make the money back.
So, just look at this stuff. We hit our goal. This is far from over. We need your help to keep up the hustle to make this investigation the best it can be. With your continued support, we'll be able to dig into the backstory of each predator, air the show without breaks, and may even give you a sneak peek into our new investigation before the Kickstarter clocks run out. So I'm going to send you information about suspected pedophiles in advance before we air it because you gave me some money. What is this? What? Why? This is old. I mean, this is like freaking
2015. Did he ever do it?
I don't know if you. Hang on, I can't remember because I did watch the video. I think it's literally just him asking for money.
Please.
Yeah, like.
Hi guys.
Do you want to watch it? It's only 2 minutes.
Yeah. Oh wait,
yeah.
Which one?
Oh yeah, just watch the top one. Watch how he pitched it. Watch how he pitched it to his $1,200 back. $90,000, guys. Right?
3, 2, 1, go.
There's something you need to know. I'm Chris Hansen, and you are going to help me catch predators again. Go ahead, have a seat right over there. The question I hear most on social media from people who follow my work is, when are you going to do another investigation? It's become very clear to me that it's time to go after predators again. When we did our first investigation, most of the activity took place in chat rooms on AOL and Yahoo. The game has changed. With Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Craigslist, Backpage, and interactive video gaming, predators have many new ways to approach unsuspecting children through a growing number of connected electronic devices.
We've come to Kickstarter to bring back the show you love with you, to create a second edition of Predator and offer online using the best team, technology, and methodology available. For 5 years, my team and I pursued online sexual predators targeting young children for sex.
We'll have to edit this music out as well, thanks,
you guys
Hansen,
have made it clear you want more investigations. I hear you and believe the time is now. But this time, I want you involved, and I want to make sure I have the independence, creative control, and proper distribution to have the most impact. That is exactly why I want you to be my partners in this very important project.
With you, I'm looking to raise awareness and funds for our next investigation, Hansen versus Predator.
I've put a new team together with even better technology to expose today's predators and create a new awareness for an even broader audience. The new shows will be distributed digitally, and as backers of this project, you will get exclusive and advanced access to the shows. Depending on your level of involvement, you'll be rewarded with a variety of unique perks. From a personalized voicemail message from me, to a Hansen vs. Predator t-shirt, to an exclusive screening and background briefing event hosted by me and my crew. Most importantly, we need to get out there and expose this continuing and very real threat. So just don't have a seat over there, get involved. Contact me on Twitter at Chris Hansen or at HansenVersusPredator.com. With your help, I'll get that next group of predators.
Yeah, but this is the thing. This is the thing, right? If you were really committed to catching pedophiles and you really cared about the work, he's dropped that catchphrase 3 fucking times in that video.
Mate, do you know what else?
You don't have a catchphrase.
No, the joke I just said to have a prank. That is a thing, mate. $250, prank a friend. Send a video, personalised 30-second video from Chris Hansen, the person of your choice. I'm not even joking, mate. He will straight do anything for money, like. He'll do it all.
Like, it must be in good taste. I can think of nothing good taste about having Chris Hansen pretending that your friend is a pedo. Prank a fucking friend.
How unreal is that, mate? Legit, the thing I was joking about. Nah, I've already done it, mate.
But look, like, if you are a paedophile investigator, is it appropriate you have a catchphrase? Is it appropriate? Look at this, right? $20 or more. Have a seat in your kitchen and enjoy. We get it. You said have a seat to the paedophile. Yeah. Get it, mate. Have a seat with Chris Hansen. You scroll down. More, have a seat. Look, back a bundle. Have a seat and enjoy. Right?
Why don't you have a seat?
What if I'm in a seat, Chris? I'm already in a seat.
Limited edition t-shirts which probably say have a seat. Almost definitely say have a seat.
This is just mental. Now, the thing is, all right, no major TV network was ever going to fucking touch this. It's like,
Netflix special, mate.
So in the end, somehow, right? He got hired. Let me find this because he did get work again, and it's not bad. He's done all right considering what a fucking joke he is. Where was it? I'm trying to think what network he got hired by. Was it ABC? Well, anyway, so he's back on the up, you know. He's coming back, but he still didn't want to leave this Hansen versus Predator thing behind. So it was towards the end of last year. He's on a show called Crime Watch Daily.
Yeah.
Right, and he's put what he kickstarted, the Hansen versus Predator segments, into the show.
Yeah,
it's back.
No.
Hansen versus Predator. It's back. He's doing it. He's back to what he does best. On Crime Watch.
Every video I've opened, it just starts with the.
So I just literally fucking couldn't believe it, man. So that's what's been going on with Chris Hansen. I'm amazed you didn't keep up with this shit.
No, I didn't even see he was after money. Obviously, would have chucked in my $20 otherwise, wouldn't I?
No, I know. It's a shame. We could have had great content. Can you imagine that trash talk episode?
Have a seat right there. Light? What do you plan on doing here today?
Oh, God. Yeah, that would have been rough. But yeah, he's back. He's just straight doing it. No one's learnt. No one cares. He's just straight doing it. So we've been live. We've done our 2 hours, Sam.
Yep, just crossing the barrier now. Although we're not quite. We've probably done about hour 40.
Yeah, I feel like I should end on something else. What have we got? I always keep these little bits and pieces.
The Far Cry stuff.
No, that's way too long.
Oh, that's too big.
We'll have to do it tomorrow, mate. That'll have to be tomorrow's show. We could probably fit the virtual reality stuff in now.
Go for it.
So, virtual reality, right? Are you excited about it?
Kind of. I'm not so much excited about what there is now. What I'm excited about is, like, now that we have this capability, what can we do with it? Like, I want one that I can put on my head that it, like, in real time updates the world. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, I wouldn't bump into stuff, but it would change everything. Like, I think that would be sick.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be honest. I remember virtual reality when it first came out in the 90s, and it was fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Like, let me see if I can find you an example of this. There was a show with Craig Charles, actually. I've got to find it. But, you know, I love Craig Charles. Like, anybody who gets caught smoking crack out of a Coke can in a car park, right, is all right in my book. I've just typed in Craig Charlies. That was it, Cyberzone. Right, have a look at fucking Cyberzone, mate. You won't even believe this. This is what I had when I was a kid. Right, it's so bad. This is what we considered virtual reality. Fucking hell, come on, YouTube, don't let me down. Somebody clip this for sure. Right, here it is. All right. I think this is the title sequence. So it's obviously been ripped off of VHS, if you remember those things. But just have a look at this. This was virtual reality in, like, the fucking 90s.
Fucking hell. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Craig Charles shooting himself in the head.
Before the crack.
Yeah, cracked out with wine.
You have made it to the Cyberzone. Pass through these gates with me, and together we will cross the reality data.
He loves it. He's so keen. Look at him, my jackets throws it to the crowd, man. Fucking hell.
In the world of virtual dreams and real challenge. Virtual reality holds court here,
where only appearance has meaning, where only conflict has relevance. Here, a computer system makes the rules, and people become data-driven cyborgs. And an artificial imagination gives substance to its own malicious
None of that
views.
happens, by the way.
Let's jack into that computer. Thest, get online.
Oh yeah, he had a virtual friend called Thest.
Get online.
He's meant to be, but he looks VR that you see
in such elegant guise.
Well, thanks for the tips on sartorial taste, Thest. The zone thrives on challenge.
Just get rid of that. So that was what we were doing in the 90s. Like that was virtual reality. So I was always kind of like, this is never gonna take off because it's shit like that, right? But it's taking off now, and everybody's into it, and everyone's talking about it. And some people are talking about it for the right reasons, like what you said. What are the possibilities? What could we do with it? Would it be possible to get to a stage where VR is so sophisticated? And think about, like, we already got 3D printing, right, and all this crazy shit. Like, could we do VR headset and a doctor here can operate on someone there? They're probably already doing that. There's all sorts of crazy shit, right? Loads of possibilities. But the leftist media blog confederacy is worried about one thing and one thing only. Can you guess what it is, Sam?
No, hit me.
Virtual rape. Virtual rape.
Why, Lord?
Didn't even cross my mind. I won't lie to you. I headset on. Right, well, society's rules don't matter anymore. I'm just gonna go fucking crazy. It doesn't work like that, does it? It's just a way of enhancing the gaming experience. But for some reason, going right the way back, harassment, sexual harassment in particular, just seemed to be the only thing that these people could imagine happening. There was this blog, it came out in October, back when we saw the first kind of VR stuff really taking off and getting mainstream press. And you can see here, my first virtual reality groping, as if there was going to be multiple ones, right? Like as if virtual reality groping is a thing that's going to be occurring. And just let's get a description of some of this shit. Never had I experienced virtual reality that felt so real. Everybody I've talked to who's used one of these things says they just get motion sickness and a headache, and that's it, really. So, right, look at this. Now, this blog went famous because it clearly wasn't real. None of this actually happened. It was a fantasy, and it's a fantasy, a lie that spawned other lies. So she goes here, right? To complete the reality of my experience, my brother-in-law directed me to the top of the highest tower in the game. Now walk off the ledge, he suggested. Oh, well, I might as well try. I inched closer and closer to the edge, looking out onto a very convincing 100-foot drop. My fear of heights started kicking in, strong. Closing my eyes, I took a single step off the ledge and nothing happened. I didn't fall, and I was walking on air. I was a god. Virtual reality had won me over, lock, stock, and barrel. By being unrealistic, seems a bit strange. Also, I thought, a few minutes later, I started a new Quiver game. And I hit multiplayer mode. And in multiplayer mode, other real-time players appear beside you. Every player looks nearly identical with a floating helmet, a persistent bow in one hand, and another free-floating hand. Keep that free-floating hand back of your mind. Oh, I will. Well, so there I was shooting down zombies alongside another real-time player named Big Bro 442. Right?
Oh.
He doesn't exist, does he? In fact, when people investigated this story, nobody could find a username Big Bro 442 that plays Quiver. And at which point she said, "Well, obviously, I've changed the name to protect the." Yeah, we know. So in between, the other players could hear me when I spoke. My voice was the only indication of my femaleness. Otherwise, my avatar looked identical to theirs. In between a wave of zombies and demons to shoot down, I was hanging out next to Big Bro 442, waiting for our next attack. Suddenly, Big Bro 442's disembodied helmet faced me dead on. right? His floating hand approached my body, and he started to virtually rub my chest.
What is wrong with these people, man?
Right, now here's the thing.
Fucking hell.
Sam, she just said there's nothing female or feminine about her avatar in the game. So Big Bro 442 is rubbing a flat chest. There's no breast.
In that picture, it hasn't even got a chest.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a head, 2 arms. There isn't even a body.
Right. Stop! I cried. I must have laughed from the embarrassment and the ridiculousness of the situation. Women, after all, are supposed to be cool and take any form of sexual harassment with a laugh. But I still told him to stop. I mean,
not the rules.
Not the rules. Definitely not the rules. No one thinks that. No one's ever said that. When I went to school and we had lessons about appropriate behavior, nobody said, now remember, you can sexually assault women and it's fine. And women, if you get sexually assaulted, make sure you laugh. Sexual assaulters don't like it if you don't laugh. It makes them feel a little bit guilty about sexually assaulting you. That never happened. That didn't happen. That isn't the rules. That's not the rules. This goaded him on. And even when I turned away from him, he chased me around, making grabbing and pinching motions near my chest.
You haven't got a chest.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a floating head and hands. What do you mean? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Emboldened, he even shoved his hand toward my virtual crotch and began rubbing.
Another thing you don't have.
There I was, being virtually groped in a snowy fortress with my brother-in-law and husband watching. As it progressed, my joking comments towards Big Bro 442 turned angrier and were peppered with frustrated obscenities. At first, my brother-in-law and husband laughed along with me. All they could see was the flat computer screen version of the groping. Outside the total immersion of the Quiver world, this must have looked pretty funny and definitely not real. Yeah, it's definitely not real. You're right.
Correct.
Remember that little digression I told you about how the 100-foot drop looked so convincing? Yeah, guess what? The virtual groping feels just as real.
No, it doesn't, because you can't feel it. What
of course.
Do you mean?
Right, now keep in mind what she's just said. The virtual groping feels just as real. Of course, you're not physically being touched. Just like you're not actually 100 feet off the ground. But it's still scary as hell. So, right. That's like saying when you get teabagged in a game, a Halo, and they give you the down. That is literally like having someone put their balls in your mouth.
I play really close to the screen, so I'm just really immersed. So it feels so real, you know what I mean?
Total immersion. So this blog took off and lots of people kind of reblogged it and re-talked about it. Again, this is how it works, right? You got a bunch of lazy hacks and what they see a blog and then they write up going, oh, new blog points to serious sexism problem in VR. Like, it doesn't. It's just one person lying for attention. It's the internet. This is what happens. It was debunked. Didn't matter. So now there's this persistent trickle of VR as sexual harassment, having this sexual harassment potential. The Guardian here did an article. Sexual harassment in virtual reality feels all too real. It's creepy beyond creepy. And this is just a rewrite of that blog. Big Bro 442, the star of the show. And even though in the article, they're like, yeah, nobody's actually touched and you can't feel anything, it's still sexual harassment. There is no fucking way that can be constituted as sexual harassment. No way whatsoever. But it doesn't end there. As a result of this lie about sexual harassment in VR, they've invented this thing. I mean, there's this thing called Rec Room. And it's like people are in there. And now, to stop harassment, they've put like a giant talk to the hand thing. So you can halt people doing anything you don't like. You can stop any form of virtual harassment with a giant hand in the face. Which, of course, couldn't possibly be used for harassment in and of itself. Totally not. Right? And it blocks them. That's it. They can't contact you or talk to you anymore. So they've invented that. This is the best. This is where I definitely want to end. Mike.com, we all know, a laughable publication. They've got I'm not going to say journalist. They've got a writer over there called Melanie Ehrenkrantz. And keep in mind, after that sex robot thing, the blowjob step, there was article after article about how sex bots are just male domination fantasies brought to life. And again, women can have sex toys. Men who don't have, it's not a big market. You get a fucking fleshlight, and that's about it. And well done. Sex robots are gross and creepy. Can't have those. So just have a look at this article here that they wrote. This headline, I feel, is a little bit, maybe just a little bit over the top. Exploiting women is going to be really easy in virtual reality. I think that's kind of a little bit just out there, a little bit over the top. Just a tad, In the future, circumventing consent will just require access to the right technology. We've already caught a more tangible glimpse of that in the growing market for sex robots that are getting more human-like and smarter. I mean, we did just see a fucking a hydraulic step with a mouth on it. I mean, if that's more human-like for you, fair enough. But with virtual reality, users aren't confined to the mechanics that comes with a heap of silicone and metal. They have the ability to create a lifelike avatar of anyone they please. A new study... Right.
But you can also imagine anyone you please. Does that mean you're mind raping them? Where does this
stop me fucking you in my dreams!
Exactly.
Right?
So fucking stupid.
Well, that's it. Like, if you've ever jerked off at anyone, like, listen, the appropriate way moving
forward.
Every
wet dream is a rape.
No, if you're gonna jerk off about somebody, the right thing to do is to call them in advance and say, "Listen, I'm gonna rub one out, and I'm probably gonna think of you tonight. Do I have your consent to do that?" And remember, you got to ask every time. So I think that's the way we do it. Anyway, you're gonna love the title of this study. A new study from researchers at Newcastle University titled "They're Just Tixel Pits, Man," that's a spoonerism of pixel tits, disputing the reality of virtual reality pornography through the story completion method, explores the ideal storyline for a man's first pornographic experience in virtual reality. And this is just garbage, isn't it? This is just like another one of these mad fucking shit academic studies. The researchers analysed 45 participants. We explicitly targeted online writing communities such as fan fiction forums, a number of Reddit forums, and advertised widely on social media. The researchers described the following scenario to the participants. Jack starts up his new virtual reality headset and positions it carefully over his head. He isn't quite sure what to expect. He's about to have his very first virtual reality porn experience. Then they asked participants to spend about 10 minutes answering the question, what happens next? Right? So they basically get like 1,000 words of people writing up their fantasies. It's kind of like that French TV show, but it's in the name of science, so it's all good. You can see there's some mad stuff in here. Like, just watch how it escalates. Here's a few examples. So you get one. She has beautiful plump lips. She is everything Jack could have imagined in The Perfect Women. Jack reached out and attempted to pull at the strings of the woman's teddy. What? The stimulation knew what he wanted. Simulation, I think that's going to be. And the string pulled away from the teddy and the knot came undone. Jack put his hands on the virtual shoulders of his fantasy wife and pushed the garment back to reveal her breast. But then there's one just down here at the bottom. He grabs her by the throat and slaps her delicate face. Now hold on, bitch. I have not my socks and baseball cap, and I expect you to strip down to your socks too. Right?
What the fuck?
The guy who wrote that was straight calling the fuck out of his study, dog.
That's mental.
So
why would he be so aggro?
Innit? Now you listen, virtual bitch.
To the moon, I tell you.
Get some socks on. So that's my fetish. So anyway, it goes on, and basically the kind of like, it doesn't even answer anything. It doesn't show what the study kind of finds. The article isn't even linked to the title. It's just trying to sow this fear. Because keep in mind, that's a virtual woman in the simulation. It's not another real woman. So what's the problem? What's the problem if he kicks the ever living shit out of the virtual woman? You know, you never killed anyone in GTA. Do I have to put flowers on their grave? Like, I'm so sorry. Live with the guilt for accidentally running someone over. I'm sorry. I was trying to get rid of 5 stars. I'm sorry. It's just nonsense. And then it says here, right. It's important to discuss the ethical guidelines of sexual exploitation in the void before the technology goes mainstream.
As if they've said that without even realising. You're in the void. Yep, I'll put that out. Yep, seems reasonable.
Not dealing with issues as they arise at whack-a-mole, which is what tech companies often default to. In their desire to be the first, products are rushed out without taking into consideration all of the potential issues that can arise and impact their most vulnerable users, women. No women are being impacted here. It's pixels. It's a simulation. You know, I'll get a virtual battered.
Also, if I was a woman, I would be sick of people calling me vulnerable by now. Fucking hell. Every time, like, oh, they are so vulnerable. They're not, though, are they? Fucking hell.
Right. Let's look at some of the questions she asks. Right, well, first of all, she quotes an associate professor of psychology at Cornell University, probably someone she knows personally, David Pizarro. I think we know enough about human psychology that if you can get yourself to mistreat a very lifelike, human-like thing, then it's probably just a good rehearsal to do that to a real human. Yep, serial killers try out on animals, but every study points to violence in video games not actually leading to real-life violence. So, okay, that's fine. And then look at these questions she asks, dude. Is fucking a simulation considered cheating?
Mentally ill. Mentally ill.
Is fucking a simulation considered cheating?
We're getting into Anders territory now, mate.
The simulation.
Simulations.
It just isn't, is it? Of course it isn't. It just isn't. Is creating a 3D avatar that looks exactly like your ex and uploading it into a pornographic simulation without their knowledge considered revenge porn? Probably also going to say no. Is simulating acts of violence on a digital replica of someone legal? Yes.
Indeed.
These are guidelines that should be discussed and figured out before VR porn becomes more lifelike, interactive, and mainstream. Or here's another thing. These are questions that you should keep to yourself because they reveal how seriously disturbed you are. And maybe you shouldn't go out into the real world for a while until you're better equipped to deal with it. How about that?
Please keep these thoughts for a psychologist.
Yeah, exactly. This is your journalistic platform isn't your fucking couch, all right? You obviously have problems. Go iron them out with a professional. Don't fucking bore me to fucking tears about them. So yeah, utter fucking madness. So anyway, now we can end the show. Virtual reality is harassment, everybody. Won't be long before we have virtual reality. Chris Hansen's coming in and virtually asking you to take a seat over there and kickstart his virtual new show in a virtual reality where everyone's a cyber predator. And Craig Charles is there for some reason too. So.
Welcome, Cybernauts.
We're going to go over here. It's just mental. So look, we'll kill the show. What's it I'm supposed to say at the end of every show, Sam?
Like, subscribe, all the general YouTube shit. Thanks for all the donations and the subscribers. I think next episode I'm going to try and get like a ticker on screen to show donations of subs because I feel bad we're just ignoring everyone. So maybe I'll figure that out.
We appreciate it. Although you do get to interrupt the show with a lick my balls, which is always fun.
Exactly.
Especially when we do a show about virtual reality harassment and Chris Hansen. Would you mind taking a lick my balls? So, but yeah, so if you're watching the VOD and you're not watching this live, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff that gets our engagement up. Make sure you haven't been unsubbed. And we'll be obviously putting this show out before the next live show, which is going to be tomorrow at a similar time. We'll run for about 2 hours, and that'll be that. And we're going to try it out for a week and just get an idea of what the numbers are going to be like, what the growth is going to be like, what the finances is going to be like, and therefore how viable it is to move it forward. So we'll be back at the same time tomorrow. And like I say, if you are watching the VOD, do all that YouTube shit, because I've got a sneaking suspicion the YouTube money is going to fucking suck so much ass.
You don't even know it. It's legit like 12% this month of what we usually get.
And I think obviously, the Patreon might be looming again, unfortunately, because Sam's got to eat.
Yeah, I do like this job. Like, I could get another job, but ideally, I'd like to giggle for a living. So we'll see.
But that's why we wanted to do it this way for a couple of weeks and just get an idea about whether we can kind of defer doing that, but we'll see. But anyway, there you have it. So again, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks very much for watching the show live. Thanks very much for watching it on YouTube. We will catch you tomorrow at the same time. Till then, take care.